Hello and welcome to 6th Gen Farmer Update. We've been combining while I've been at college, as you can see. Not moving tonight. Stuff is, with how dry it was this summer, stuff is kind of getting ready unevenly, if that makes sense. So we didn't combine anything today. We're gonna hit it hard tomorrow though, which will be next video for you guys. But as you can tell from the title and thumbnail of this video, we got a new toy. But first, before we get to that, if you guys remember from a couple of videos ago, I set up John Deere operations on our farm and it's been working fantastic. I had the S780 all set up. I've been able to watch the combine, been able to watch the display, and then because that has a Gen 4 monitor in it, I've been able to see in real time. I mean, it's delayed a little bit, but the yield and everything as well. So I got the variety locator file put on that monitor. That way our field view maps, it'll show what variety we're actually in, so that we can compare and analyze different varieties. So I have all that one set up. However, I kind of fell behind and I did not get the 9870 set up. So it's been recording yield, and luckily this is the only field that this one's been in so far, and there was all one variety, so it didn't really matter. But I gotta get this one set up to get the variety locator file. And technically that one's not working 100% either, because for some reason it won't show me the fuel level. So I'm just gonna do a power reset on that one. I'm gonna get the measurements, the offsets for the header and the combine. So basically the offsets here, let me get in the cab and I'll show you. So these offsets I'm talking about are basically measurements on the implement and the piece of equipment itself. So that way, relative to the globe, which is right there, it knows where everything's located. So when we start making coverage maps, it shows it starting right there on the cutter head and not back there. So when I put the variety locator file to find the varieties on the 2630 monitor, which we're using in the 9870, it's actually going to reset all this. So I got to be able to put these measurements in the computer, so that way when I put the new file on, it's like nothing ever happened. So I took pictures of that and I'll do that later. I'm going to go do a power circulation on the S780 and then go look at the new toy. I got that running to update a couple maps, doing a power cycle on that. Now before I actually go from my house to here, which is like 5 miles, I have a cylinder misfiring. So I have a common issue with the coil packs in this car. I love this car. I've gone through coil packs like a madman. So I always have a spare one in my trunk. I'll replace that quick. This is actually my first time seeing it. I've known that we've had it for a while, but I've never actually seen it, and dang, that is clean. So this is a 2010 John Deere 8345 RT. You can tell it's a 2010 because of the headlights. So fun fact, a 2010 version of the R series tractors is basically just a 30 series tractor with a better cab on it. So the reason we wanted a 2010 specifically was because it was the first year of the R series, but it was also the last year before they put any emissions on the tractors. So a little backstory on this tractor. We have been looking for a dual track tractor, mid-frame or small frame, whatever you want to call it, for a long time. I think you guys know that. I've been talking about how we want one on our soybean planter and how we wanted a beefier one for a row crop cultivator. And now that we're expanding the organic, we might need to run 2 cultivators, I'm not for sure. But we were looking for an 8430T for the longest time. And we actually went up and looked at Larson Farms 8430T before they traded it for their 8RT 370s, like the YouTube Larson Farms. So yeah, we got to meet Chet, Doug, and Randy, and they are great guys. I think we looked at the tractor for like a half hour and then talked for about 2 hours after that. Great guys. Appreciate it if they somehow see this. Thank you guys so much for having us up, taking us around the tractor, and then talking to us for a while. But it was a beautiful tractor. Larson's take very good care of their stuff. What led us away from it was we want a category 4 3-point hitch for the 60-foot row crop cultivator, because we've already broken one 3-point on an 8410T, and that's a category 3. So we just wanted a beefier setup on the back. And then the reason we wanted a 30 series or later is because you can put vision sense steering on them. So basically it's a little camera. It's used pretty extensively on the new John Deere sprayers and the Hagie sprayers. Basically it's a camera that actually follows the row, because in row crop cultivating, being precise is super important. And it was actually to the point where even with RTK Globe on our tractor, we weren't precise enough and we're actually covering up some corn. So we want to get the vision sense on the tractor. So with this one, we'll be able to do that, which we were not able to do with the 8410T. But we also want it for soybean planting, obviously. Okay, enough of me talking. Let's actually take a tour of this thing. So like I mentioned, 2010 8345 RT, so 345 horsepower. We bought it from people we know, pretty good friends with them, and they are fantastic caretakers of everything. And you can just tell by looking at it. I mean, just the paint is perfect. I mean, there's some smudges on it from us working on it, but it's perfect. There's no rust on it anywhere. Just super clean. The only thing that's not in super great condition on this is the tracks. They will need to be replaced eventually, but the rest of the tractor makes up for it. Hopping in the cab here, as you can tell, it's pretty darn standard for an R-Series tractor. Very clean. It even smells good in here. It does have the IVT transmission. We would have preferred a power shift transmission. It's just what we're used to. It's what we really like. But I know a lot of people really like these, so I'm sure it's one of those things that once I get used to it, I'll end up liking it. Our 8360 RT is also an IVT transmission, but I really don't drive that tractor a whole lot. And then behind the tractor at the current moment, we have my brother's new to him John Deere 2100 straight line ripper. So the difference between a straight line ripper and a V ripper, which you've probably heard of, is the goal of the straight line ripper is to just kind of lift up the ground, get rid of the compaction, and put it back down without absolutely obliterating it. So in the past, we've always rented the neighbors, and we've gone into places like where we may have loaded our semi trucks in the field where there's a lot of heavy compaction, and we go with this and we just kind of loosen the ground up without obliterating it. Works really good. Works so good that we actually went out and we bought ourselves one this year, so that way we don't have to keep renting the neighbors. So that's gonna be a setup this fall. So there it is. I guess I really don't know a whole lot more to tell you guys, but Chris was nice enough to leave it outside for me, so that means I have to drive it in the shed. Shucks. Oh, copyright. There we go. Ooh. Let's drive around the yard a little bit. You know, obviously I like these tractors for compaction reasons and traction reasons, but something that's really fun about driving them is it's not like a normal wheel tractor where you turn the steering wheel and it stays there. You turn the steering wheel to turn, you let go of it, and it does its little thing. I don't know, kind of fun. Of course, the second I stop it, transmission calibration. Another reason to love the power shifts. Well, thank you guys for tagging along and taking a look at our new tractor. I am super excited, especially for planting soybeans next spring, as well as row crop cultivating, because Vision Sense is super cool. So if you guys have any questions, leave a comment down below, hit the like button. Doing those things helps out the Google algorithm a lot, helps me out a lot, so I appreciate you guys doing that. Also, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, go ahead and hit it, because the next video we'll be harvesting. See you in the next one.